Hi, I hope everybody's doing well. This is Jen. I'm here with an energy update. We're post eclipse, almost in August. Time is moving forward. People are ascending. Things are changing, and they will keep on changing. So let's dive in. Thank you for being here. Thank you for listening. We're almost over with the month of July. Again, it's been an intense month. I know it's been for me. I've been going through a lot of triggers, a lot of releasing, and it's been very, very hard. And I know I'm not the only one in that situation. A lot of people have been triggered to release. In my past videos, I was mentioning a few things, how tables would turn, things would change, and we're almost there. In the upcoming months, starting in August, things will change. A lot of the illusion will be lifted. A lot of light workers or whatever labels we want to use here will be called and will be put in the front instead of being in the back seat doing all this work. People will start changing. We will see a lot of people moving from their mind and ego base going towards a love and heart base life or business or whatever people are into. Things are going to change. Lately, like I said, a lot of people have been going through triggers. Know that it was planned out this way. Everything happens for a reason in a divine timing. Sometimes I have a hard time with using that word divine timing because some people may think I refer to religion when I say that, but not necessarily. If we look at it from a scientific point of view, um, if you go with the flow and you're just in surrender to the field, that intelligent energy field that we all have access to, things are planned out and they are being released and revealed the way they are supposed to. Our only job is to surrender to that and not resist, because as soon as you resist, you're putting all kinds of blockages in your own path. You create your own blockages either for love, abundance, and stuff like that, as opposed to, while being in surrender, you just allow yourself to receive. I have been mentioning that many, many times in many videos. Allow it to come to you. If people stay in their mind and or stay stuck in the triggers, you don't allow yourself to receive. You don't allow yourself to understand the deepness of the situation that you might be in. There's always multiple layers to any situation. The first one we see is always the one seen by our own ego. Therefore, most of the time, it's there to trigger us, to release and to heal ourselves. That's the whole point of being a human being on a spiritual path. On a spiritual path. It's the whole point of spiritual ascension is to release those layers, release those programs that we have in our mind that come from our environment, our education, society, our parents, name it. It's to release those and to go all the way to your core where it's pure energy from the universe or God or the divine, however way you want to call it. That's the point of spiritual ascension. And lately, a lot of people have been like sidetracked by what we call 3D stuff, being triggered and being unable to understand, blocking themselves from getting the messages from those situations, understanding why those situations showed up in your life. Tower moments, if you're into tarot, tower moments, the tower card, when things collapse, when things fall down. I have been through stuff like that. Everything in my life, not everything, that's too strong of a word to use, but a lot of things in my life have collapsed. When that happens to you, the best thing you can do to make it easier on yourself is to allow it to collapse, to allow it to go to the rock bottom so you can build yourself back up. You know, when things start breaking around you or nothing seems to be working, you seem to be losing clients or unable to close deals or new clients, those are tower moments. That means you're in transition. That means you're holding the old energies and you're already attracting the new energies. And you need to allow this process to happen. Every real spiritual teacher will talk about this. If you don't allow, like I said, you're creating your own blockages and you're creating more of that struggle. You're creating more of those tower moments because life or the universe will always try to make you understand and put you back on your path to be your highest version, your best you. And a lot of people have a hard time with that concept, but the only thing we can really do is accept it. Accept it because fighting against it, well, you become your own worst enemy, especially if you're a twin flame. Imagine if you're fighting against yourself. Imagine what that does to your connection and to your twin flame. They pick up directly on you. You pick up directly on them or from them. Imagine what that does. It creates chaos. It creates all kinds of situations that you don't want to be in. Every day that you wake up is a new day, a blank page to write your own script, your own book, your own scenario. You co-create with that intelligent energy that is always present and always available. Some things do take longer to manifest physically. That happens, and that's fine. Some things will never manifest because they're not meant to, because they're not meant for your highest good. And sometimes it takes a little longer because you have to go through some lessons and you have to do some growing. And until you reach those levels where you're able to break the barriers and move on to the next level, you have to go through your lessons and integrate them and understand them and never stay in that state of waiting for things to happen. Never. You being a spiritual being or being on a spiritual path, it means that you always co-create. You don't wait around. Even if one manifestation hasn't showed up in your life already, doesn't mean you cannot start co-creating something else, knowing that sometimes it takes time. We must keep going. It's just like riding a bicycle. If you stop pedaling, you're going to fall down. And that's what the spiritual path is all about. And we get deal some cards. We don't choose those cards, but we do choose how we're going to play them. And you know, I've always said I'm a big poker player, and I've always said I love poker. I love this game with all my heart because it's like life. Sometimes you have the best hand. You have the best cards in your hands, and then you suddenly get screwed, or someone else wins the hand because something happens, because a card combination happens that you lose that hand. If you watch poker on TV, you're going to see that, especially in Texas Hold'em, you see people starting around with pocket aces, which is two aces in your hands, which is the dominant hand or the nuts in the real lingo of poker. And they end up losing the hand because someone with the lowest probabilities decided to play, and it ended up being good for them and bad for the one with the best hand with the aces. That's how life is. And our role into this is to just dust ourselves off and start over again. In poker, patience is a big key. And it happened to me this week. I was playing and I got down to having two chips in my hands. And there's this saying in poker, all you need is a chip and a chair, because the wind can change directions instantly. And that's what happened to me. And I ended up winning that night because I was patient, because I didn't play the hands that I knew I shouldn't play. And I waited patiently for my cards and for the best situation to show up. And that's how we need to see life. When we're dealt cards that don't look good, you always have a choice of how you're going to play them. Same thing when you're dealt cards that look good and you end up losing. There's a lesson to be mastered in that, and to be learned and to be understood, so that you can move forward. So at this point in August, a lot of people are being pushed into their powers, to step in and ground themselves in their powers, especially very sensitive people. We are more sensitive people that are awakened and that are ready to help others, because we will keep on seeing like spontaneous awakenings, just people changing their minds, changing their consciousness level. And we need sensitive people to guide these people onto the spiritual path of ascension. And a lot of people have been like holding off, like moving forward, but having a foot on the brake. There is no more time for having the foot on the brake anymore. It's full speed. Full speed. Time is moving faster. There's a lot of chaos out there, and light workers are called in action. And if you haven't been preparing for this, you're going to find it rough, because it's going to show up in ways that you didn't expect, you didn't see coming, and you will have no choice but to clean up the situation and stay balanced. I feel that applies more to the divine masculine, but it does apply to the divine feminine as well, but a bit less. The feminine has been awakened for quite a while now, and it's just being tested to stay in balance and to stay in harmony and to stay still in her own inner union. The divine masculine, especially those who have been resisting, are now like, dude, you have no choice. This is where you're going. They're being guided by their higher selves, and they are being kept on a tight leash. Not the best choice of words here, but that's the image I'm getting when I'm looking at that energy. It's just that there's no more time. Some divine feminine have been awakened for years now, and they've been ready and waiting and working very hard, supporting people, helping people. It's their turn to reap the rewards. It's their turn to have some fun, because a lot of divine feminines have not been having fun in the past years, especially starting in 2012. They've just been purging for other people. They've been transmuting for other people. And this is exhausting. So now other people will start doing that, and it will balance things out a little bit so that the ones that have been added for quite a while will be released from those responsibilities. Not totally, they will always keep on doing that, but the game will change for them and they will be able to move forward in a lighter way, not having to purge for the collective, for example. Because there are now more people that are awake and that are strong enough and sturdy enough to take those roles and just help the team, but because we're all a team, we're all one. So in August, things, if you felt that June and July has been or have been very intense, August should slow down a little bit. You should be able to catch like a few breaks and just more enjoyable moments. And it will keep going through September, October, November, all the way to the end of the year. September will be a much more balanced month. If, on the opposite, you haven't felt that June and July has been intense, get ready. It's your turn. Get ready. You're going to start to have some of those tower moments. You're going to start losing friends. Friendship is a big, big theme in August, meaning that some cleaning will be done in regards to friendship. If you're hanging out with people that you're not supposed to be hanging out with, some crazy situations will show up in your life for you to see the real truth and for you to see these people for who they really are. Either you're going to help them or you're going to say, I've had enough and I need to walk away from this friendship because it's not working out for me anymore. On the opposite of that, some people will start making new connection with people matching their vibration levels. And that's great news because it's so liberating to meet new people in a situation where you're like, oh my God, where have you been all my life? You know, I wish I would have known you years before. A lot of people will go through these things in August. Perhaps at this point you're feeling this is coming up for you, that you're going to be changing your friends. Every spiritual person on a spiritual path deals with these things. Everyone. If you refuse to, well, it's just more blockages and more density to carry around, and it might not be the best choice, but it's your choice. You have free will. But then again, free will we do have in a limited way. Our soul, our higher self, will always try to steer us, to put us on our real path. If we try to take a different route, go in a different directions, it's not going to work out. Things are going to show up to make you understand that this is not where you need to be, either through sickness, losing jobs, losing money. Because when you're on your path and you are aligned, whether it's in business or in your personal life, but especially in business, you will see that that's where the abundance is. When you're truly aligned, people will start show up in your life out of nowhere, wanting to be working with you. And I'm not referring specifically to people with a spiritual business. It could be anything. You could be owning a flower shop. You could be owning a car business, a sales business, a service business, or a spiritual business. You'll see things will change. And a lot more light workers will start being active in the business world, in the corporate world, through big corporations, big companies, those 500 companies. Those light workers will be awakened to their next level, and they will start changing the game big time. Meaning that they will start introducing spiritual concepts in the corporate world, but not through energy talks and ascension, not like that, just by being leaders, just by being themselves and changing the game, by leading by example. And that's great news because we live in a world where corporations have a lot of power, and it's not always a good thing, but things will be balanced out. Other than that, the divine masculine. Well, the divine masculine. Oh, wow. It's been rough for them. They've been feeling the same thing that you have been feeling. If they have not, just know that they're in denial and not living their truth. And they won't be able to keep that up for a long time. Some divine masculine are right in their dark night of the soul, wanting to quit their jobs, wanting to quit their career, wanting to quit their karmic situation related to people, jobs, or whatnot. They want to change. They know they need to change. Some know how, some don't know how just yet, but they will. They are being guided. They are being put in situations where they can no longer deny. They can't. They just can't. So if they force it and they try to stay in it, it's not going to work. It's just going to make them very unhappy inside. Unfortunately, some people are able to resist this for a long time and just pretend that everything is okay and just pretend that they're not unhappy, but they won't be able to deny and resist this very long. That's impossible, especially if you've been doing your own work. If you haven't, that's a different game. If you haven't been doing the work, it's very possible that they resist longer than they're supposed to. But if you have been healing yourself, if you have been ascending and watching and being careful with your vibration, being careful with your manifesting powers, with your creation powers, and you've been moving forward, not the best way I could picture it or say it is moving forward, not and accepting that you don't necessarily see what's ahead. Just moving forward in full trust and surrender, which is the state that everyone needs to be. But I know sometimes people are not in that state because they're going through some stuff, and that's normal. We're human beings. But if you want to be at your optimal state of creating what you want to create in life, you need to accept that you might not know how, when, or exactly how, especially the how and the whens, when it's going to show up and how you're going to get there. But if you just move forward in that path of not knowing, but just trusting and holding the feeling in your heart without expectations, without any attachments, that's how you create. And that's how you manifest what's in your highest good. It may not be exactly what you wanted, but you will realize that what you manifested was much better than what you really wanted. So letting go of attachments in August is absolutely important. The divine masculine is being asked to let go of any and all attachments that are no longer serving them, and any attachment for that reason. Those, especially those ego attachments, those attachments to who they thought they needed to be, who they thought they wanted to be. And that is hard to accept when you've been spending your life thinking, this is who I want to be, and you suddenly realize this is not working out for me. It's hard to heal that and to transmute and transform that. That's what the divine masculine has been going through this summer, this past month of June and July. And it's going to start turning around in August. And if you've been doing your work, well, it should bring you closer to your twin. But again, no attachments. Don't get any attachments to the physical union. That's the worst thing a twin flame could do. Having attachments to when am I going to be with my twin is the worst thing you can do because you're blocking it. You are blocking it. So just accepting that things are the way they are right now and that you're creating what you want to create or what you need to create is the only way you can live and is the only way you can be truly happy because you're not waiting for outside love to be happy. You get it from yourself. Then you're going to be able to be in physical union. Other than that, they have been releasing a lot of things related to the family patterns and issues, especially to mothers, as the divine masculine was healing. The energy aspect of it was healing. It was healing the connection to the mother figure, or our biological mother. They've also been more in touch with their intuition, with their feminine side and their heart, connecting to that, connecting to their spiritual powers. And also, a lot of them, they know what's going on. They know their purpose. They know their mission. They know that they're a twin flame. They may not know the exact word twin flame, but they know they are connected to someone. They know they are in this relationship that is energy-based. They know what they've done wrong in the past in regards to that connection, and they are trying to heal that. They realize they've been shown. They feel those energy shifts as well. They feel the connection. They know. They know. They may not show it to you. They may not show it to their friends or family. They may not scream, hey, I'm a twin flame and I'm connected to someone. But they know. So do not get triggered by the illusions of the 3D world. Know that there's multiple layers, and the best thing to do is to open up your powers so that you can see what those layers are. So in the coming months of August and September, a lot of men, physical men, will start changing behaviors, being more sensitive to their own needs and to other people's needs. Be more aware and conscious of their heart and their intuition. It's been in preparation for a long time for a lot of people, and now is the time. It's going to happen physically. Some of them will even come into their power of being clairvoyant, of being healers. So it's really important that you keep your end of the deal and you keep working on your mission, because if you don't, there is no way there could be harmony in your twin flame connection. As far as the divine feminine, it's been tough and rough on the divine feminine because they've been awakened for quite a while and they've been feeling all of this, thinking, I can't believe I am still dealing with this. They are being tested with their inner union and staying in balance, just like the divine masculine is being tested too. They're being tested into, are you strong enough to move to the next level? So the divine feminine is being tested, are you strong enough to hold your balance? So the message here is hold your balance the best way you can. Sometimes it's hard. Sometimes we have to blow up. That's not the problem. The problem is how you blow up and how you go about it. If you release in a peaceful way, fine. If you release by blowing up and shouting and screaming, that's fine, but don't scream at people. Don't get mad at people, you know? For the month of August and September, the divine feminine, it will become lighter for them, easier, um, less, um, less struggle with the sleeping patterns, so therefore more restful sleep, less struggle with the eating, because that has been very hard with the divine, for the divine feminine, the bloating, the losing hair, the nails being like weak or brittle, all those symptoms. It's going to start getting better. There's the Lion's Gate coming. um, if you're into astrology, you can go ahead and read more on that subject, but it will bring a lot of new energies supporting unions and ascension. But there is no secret to the twin flame relationship or union. It all starts with you. It all starts with your own ascension. It all starts with you not waiting on your twin to show you a sign. It all starts with you being a master at yourself and moving forward in your own ascension. It seems like it's been hard or some kind of a problem for a lot of people lately. That's why there's so much chaos. And that's why it's so important for light workers to stand together and stand tall in their lights to help balance these out. But it's also difficult for light workers and sensitive people because it's very demanding to do that. They're tired. But like I said at the beginning, um, sensitive people will be put in the front, will be brought forward, forward on the scene. People will start looking at them, looking up at them, saying, "Hey, you're very sensitive. I believe you have something to bring to me. I believe I need to learn something from you or listen to you. I'm attracted to you, but I don't know how. I don't know why exactly." That kind of stuff will start happening, and they will be respected more. Those sensitive people, the light workers, instead of what they've been through, what a lot have been through is, "You're crazy. What are you talking about?" That will change. That will change. People will start listening and will start saying, "Hey, you're right. It makes sense what you're saying. It makes sense." And we will start hearing that from people we don't expect to hear that from. We will hear that from people who don't look like they have a spiritual side. But if you're here on earth and you're human, you do have a spiritual side. You do. And these numbers of awakened people and light workers will only increase. And it's important that we keep working at it because, like I said, it never stops. It's an ongoing process of ascension, of balancing yourself, of accepting your dark side and just working through it or with it, using it as guides to know where you need to go. That's the secret to mastering your life. And that's the secret to manifestation. If you're not doing that and you're just like, "Oh, this is so hard, blah, blah, blah," well, you're never going to get anywhere. Never. You're just going to stay there because with that inner talk that you have, you create your own blockages. And there is no more time for this on earth at this point. Okay, so I think that's it for now. Thank you for listening. If you would like to book a session with me, you can do so using my Facebook page at Indigo Girls Readings or using my email at indigogirl555 at gmail.com. Enjoy this weekend and the upcoming weeks. Thank you so much.